And I had to beat this hippie with a bat. Oh, I wish I had the screenshot.
No money. Welcome back. This is the Dragon's Well. I hope that you enjoyed. I have no clue where I was going with that one. But welcome back to the Dragon's Well. Make sure and get your money. If you're wondering as to what that is, I'll tell you a story here in a moment. But I am one of your hosts, Sprites. I'm joined with me, my good buddy, my good pal, Mav3rick. How's it going, Mav3rick?
Oh, it's going pretty good, man. I was hoping for a Tears of the Kingdom episode this week, but episode 11 is going to not be that. We're going to discuss a little bit of news and stuff. Ace couldn't be with us today. He had some personal stuff going on, so he's going to be back next week to we're going to try to talk about a little Tears of the Kingdom. And
tears.
So what's his story?
Okay. I don't know. We're starting the episode off spicy. I don't even know if I want to share it, to be honest with you. And there's nothing bad about it.
If it makes you feel any better, I got a good trigger for you later.
Good. I'm gonna need one to justify this story. It's not a bad story. When I was living where my first pastorate was, right? Because this is my second pastorate. Whenever I was pastoring my first pastorate, there was a local donut shop, right? Where
I like donuts.
I do too, absolutely.
We'll get some video. You'll see why.
I don't know
why we like donuts.
Just making an assessment, guys. Just making an assessment, because hey, props to them, but let me tell you that the donut industry has been monopolized. There is one particular culture, race, I guess, if you will, that has dominated I don't know about y'all, but any franchise that I've been to, our donut shops are ran by Oriental folk.
All right,
Asian people. Yeah. And boy, first off, they make some phenomenal donuts.
Oh yeah,
right. And I understand they're not all from they're not all the same type of Asian individual, right? Well, this particular donut shop, we used to go there all the time right before church, and sometimes we'd get some donuts for the church, right?
Yeah.
And so this one morning I rolled up, and these individuals, they did not speak English very well at all, right? It was just how it was. They can understand, and a lot of times they just nod their head, and they're always very respectful, very polite. And so I remember I rolled up, and something told me, it must have been the Spirit. I was like, listen, I got to witness to this person.
Yeah.
And so I get ready, and I begin to witness to this lady, and then halfway through, it hits me, she doesn't understand a word that I'm saying. Like, very, very a minute amount of words are leading to her, she's not understanding it, right?
Right.
So, I'm over here and I'm telling her about Jesus. I'm like, hey, are you saved? Do you know who Jesus is? I was like, let me tell you. And I'm sitting there, and we're waiting for the order to be brought up and for them to box all the donuts. And so, she's sitting there nodding her head, and I was like, well, by the time I get done with my spill and I take the donuts, I'm like, hey, well, you have a wonderful day. And she's like, oh, okay. And I get ready and I pull off. I didn't pay her. Like, I told her about Jesus, but I forgot to pull my card out and to give her the money.
Right.
And so I'm over here. I'm like, hey, do you know who Jesus is? Are you saved? Would you like to know how to get saved? Da, da, da. And so she's like, yeah, okay. And she's like, here's your donuts. Here's your,
Well, okay, that was a mistake on her part. She should have never handed you the donut.
True. I think she was expecting it. But I was in the middle of like, me talking. So it was almost like distracting her. Like I was misdirecting her. I get the donuts, I get the drinks, and I begin to take off. And as I'm taking off, I'm getting ready, and I drive like a few feet in front of me. Right, and it was like a little drive-through that went around it. Drove a few feet in front of me, got ready to roll up. I was rolling up my window, and as I'm rolling it up, she goes, "No, wait, money!" I said, "What?" I stepped on the brakes and put it in reverse. Luckily nobody was behind me, and I reversed it back to her. I said, "Man, excuse me." I was like, "What?" I was like, "That's I thought that she was trying to address me by my name or something." I was like, she was like, money. I was like, "What?" She's like, pay money. I was like, "Oh, money." No, money. It was the best, man. I'm telling you. I was like, that poor lady. I told her about Jesus. I didn't give her her money, though. She will. Listen, I paid her enough.
He's out here giving priests a bad name.
Listen. I thought of that, and as soon as I was pulling out, I thought of that story where, with Peter, I think it was Peter and John, and they're walking around. It was after Christ had already, this was, I think, in the book of Acts. It was after Christ had left, and Peter and John were walking around, and they came to a beggar, and the beggar was like, "Hey, do you have any change?" And Peter stopped and looked at him, and he said, "Of silver and gold I have none." He said, and then proceeded, I'm just paraphrasing because I forgot the rest of it, but he said, "Silver and gold we have none." He said, "But let me tell you about Jesus." Like,
well, I mean, that's greater than silver and gold.
Absolutely. But to her, she was money. So, yeah. So, and asking, what have I been playing today? I guess I've been playing the donut shots.
Well, guys, I'm gonna tell you,
no money.
We need to get Sprites access to the Twitter account so he can post some of these stories on Twitter.
I got like literally my life is an anecdote. Okay, it's just one big story.
Agreed. I need to write a book.
Yeah. We're going through the life and times of Christ right now.
So
just the life and times of Isaac.
So this is my esports. Our esports kids will love this. There was a student that we had helped. That was part of the school for a little while, and it was one of those things where he was in my class first period, and the dude had the best stories, like the absolute best stories. And I was like, you've got to write a book, because this would be an amazing book. People would buy this. I don't care if the stories are true or not, but I mean, he would come in with the most crazy stories all the time.
Yeah.
And so it kind of became a running thing where it's like, he would come in and he would say, "Hey, I've got this story, this, and this happened." And I was like, you need to write that down.
Yeah.
Like, you need to write it down and keep that.
Nice.
And so
I do. I appreciate me a good story, and as y'all can tell, I prolong. There's no short story to me. I mean, but anyways.
But
on a real note,
but yeah. And with the Twitter, guys, it's at DragonsW Gaming. Please follow us.
Absolutely.
We're trying to grow that. We're trying to grow this podcast. We're trying to grow.
Yep.
By eating donuts. Yeah.
I am growing in stature every day.
So, man, I don't know about you, but since last week, I hadn't really been playing a whole lot.
Y'all, listen, I'm about to lose a lot of respect in the gaming community, but it's fine. I'm willing to listen. I'm going to take it on the chest, okay? That hurt a lot because I worked out and my arms are broken. But I am conforming to be a mobile gamer. I'm mobile gaming.
Ouch.
Listen, it's not that I want to be.
I picked up the Doom mobile game. It's not terrible.
You know how Venom's kind of like a symbiote?
Yeah.
That's my phone. I feel like Eddie Brock, and he's just...
So what are you playing?
I'm not at liberty to discuss that.
Oh.
It might shut the game down.
Oh, this is the game you were playing the other night.
No, it's actually so it's called. I'm fairly certain it probably changes its title every couple of months.
Oh yeah.
For fear, it is a bootleg Pokemon game. And guys, let me tell you this: if there's ever a time where
it's a legit app because it is on the.
It's a legit app. Yeah, it's on the App Store. It is, guys. It has the most insane. Literally the most insane animations, like for ultis and for units moves, and it's a Pokemon gacha game, right? It's super duper fun, And I'm a big sucker for gacha games, right? I've been playing Dokkan for Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle for like 6 years. Wow. Literally, you go through my account. Almost every single mission is completed. Like, so, I'm at the point now where it's like I literally, and I don't invest. I've invested like maybe $25 in it. Yeah. Right. I'm not those guys that are like, I'm gonna invest $48,000 in like what was it? Diablo Immortals. There was one guy that dropped $100,000 in that game.
I know kids. Yeah, we're talking to you that spend just an unimaginable amount of money in emotes, and I'm like,
emotes?
Yes, in Fortnite.
Oh,
like,
what?
Fortnite is, man, they just like massive money, and I know some kids. Again, I'm talking to you.
The level.
Look, I play Fortnite.
We're starting to tricks like that. Is got to be one of. And listen, I don't know who he's talking about.
Like 600 V-bucks for a emote.
Well, how much is 600 V-bucks? I've never played Fortnite.
I think it's like 800 V-bucks is like $10, or 900 V-bucks is $10. So you're paying $10 for an emote? No, not me.
And that's just somebody who doesn't respect the dollar.
Now, I will buy the battle pass. So I've bought the battle pass twice. Yeah. I bought it the big Star Wars event that they had where like the final thing was Vader. I wanted Vader, and so then they did another like it was kind of like a mini deal where you paid and you got not just the free stuff, but you also got the elite stuff. Plus, you could get holocrons. So I've got so
you got a whole bunch of stuff for the normal price that you would pay for it.
Right. So I got a Sith infiltrator glider.
So I don't know about just like outright just one emote dropping $10, but if it was in like a bundle where I could get a skin and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you play Fortnite a lot, of like if that's your game, and you're gonna use these, but the mixed emotion to me is first, my initial emotion is like, why? Like I'm just there's a level of confusion as well as kind of a little anger at just how.
You can earn this stuff, though. Well, I mean, for the most part, you can earn it. I mean, so like as you progress with the battle pass, you get V-bucks. Well, you can use. So what I do is I use those V-bucks to buy the next battle pass. So I'm not out any money.
True,
like real money. I'm just out my time.
Cycle.
Yeah, I'm just out my time. I did that with Rocket League for a long time, and man, I got a massive amount of things for Rocket League that just depends on how much time you want to actually spend.
Yeah,
with the.
Like I said, I think there's also a level of respect that I have for people that are willing to go above and beyond to BM another person. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's like if you're that guy, you know what I mean, and you're willing to drop money to be that guy, continue to be that guy. I'm like, hey. Respect. At least you know what you're about, right?
Well, look. It's
like you might be a dirtbag, but at least you understand you're a dirtbag.
Well, here's the thing: if I take somebody out in Fortnite, I want to take them out with my generic skin, and then my generic emote is what I'm dancing over them. You know? Yeah. So they think, oh, this noob just took me. That's how I roll.
That's the salt in the wound right there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. No. It gets. Yeah. So,
but
no, I did play a little bit of Fortnite. I got the Darth Maul skin, which was now that I've got Maul, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I know they got some Spider-Man stuff coming out for. I know the new Spider-Man movies coming out. The what is it? Across the Spider-Verse?
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
the Into the
animated.
Spider-Verse second sequel.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I loved Into the
Yeah,
Spider-Verse.
the original
first
was
one
pretty good.
I mean, the animation in it and everything else. I mean, the soundtrack was great.
Oh yeah.
All the little sound effects and stuff. It was wonderful. But no. Between that, I also picked up a new Commander deck.
Oh yeah.
A pre-built Commander deck in Magic.
Yeah.
Magic card gaming.
Did you actually get the physical deck? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's $50 later. You know, they're pricey. You know, but it's 100 cards plus plus some other stuff. There was actually a little promo pack in there as well.
Oh, okay.
That had two mythics in it, that full mythics.
Oh, that's not too bad.
As well as a bunch of other stuff, but the pre-constructed deck is, I mean, it's pretty nice. I haven't used it yet.
I thought the decks were capped out at 60 cards.
That's for standard. Commander.
Oh, okay.
Commander's
a different.
Commander is a 100-card deck, but not only that, you can only run one of each card, so it's 100 unique cards in your deck.
Okay.
So it's like,
so not like my old Goblin deck, where
you can have the same.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. The one that I bought is called Knights of the Living Dead. Right? It's white, it's blue, and it's black. Those are the colors.
Okay.
And
with 100 cards, you could add an extra
everything.
color.
Everything in the deck is a night creature.
Yeah.
Of some sort, right? So there's going to be like a vampire knight or an undead knight or a human knight.
Right.
Or I think there's even like one or two like merfolk that's like a white-blue mixture card or multicolored white-blue card.
Right.
But everything in the deck is a knight card. And so the synergy behind the deck is all about is all about buffing knights.
Right.
So like you'll have a lot of cards that will say, hey, all other knights on the field get +1/+1.
Right.
Or all of the knights get indestructible. Or all of the knights, and so essentially it's just everything in your deck is being affected by this.
Yeah, right.
And so it's and so they call it Night of the Living Dead, because there's dead knights in there as well as living knights, and all of them are knights.
So you could technically have a Goblin deck.
Yeah.
I've been telling you, man.
It's pretty much
my
a
my red Goblin deck. It wasn't very intimidating until I pulled the Goblin King.
Yeah.
And which
and the
buffed everybody, all the goblins that were in
you
play.
got Goblin Schwarzeneggers over there.
Oh yeah, man. Go wipe like 3 players out.
We here to take all your gold. Come here. We are goblins.
We are goblins.
We are one.
Well, I need to pick up one of those decks.
There's a bunch of them in Henderson.
Okay.
And so, maybe I shouldn't say that out loud. But
no, that's fine.
Yeah.
Henderson where?
Never mind. Anyways. Done goofed.
Nah, I mean, it's local listeners, mostly.
Yeah, besides that one dude in India.
Where's that DWG?
The one guy in India. I find you now.
Hey,
now I know where you are.
So did you see we got a new listener in Brazil? So shout out to Brazil.
Yeah. Hey, that's actually one of the places that I'd like to visit Rio just to see the big Jesus statue.
Oh yeah. Cristo.
Yeah.
Cristo. Yeah, that would be
Jesus
really cool.
Cristo.
That would be awesome.
But, yeah.
Maybe we could plan a trip to Brazil and then we could go to Japan.
See, I would be weary about going to Brazil. I heard the food's pretty good there too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
But I don't know. We might.
Probably not so good for families.
Yeah. But anyways, it's so I've just been playing that, and then a lot of Unite, and sadly, I don't think we're grinding on Unite. I'm gonna make it a Masters.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like 2 or 3 ranks away.
I gotta make some time for that this weekend.
I think I'm Ultra 3 right now, so that means I gotta win. I don't know, 7 games maybe. I get Masters. So
I think I'm Expert 3 right now.
It's just one of those things where, with time, probably by the end of the week, the end of the week or end of next week, I'll be in the master tier rank. And
Let me
good
try
thing
to get
about
on
getting master
Saturday.
tier is you can't get outside of master tier. Like you're in after you make it. It's like
Yeah.
there's no demoting. You just lose.
Oh, okay.
Like so you're master the rest of the season.
Oh, okay.
You know,
okay.
even if you lose all of the games from here on out.
Well, and
Like,
there's only,
you're-
what, like 8, is there 10, 12 days left in the season? I think I saw that the
Oh,
other day.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
but
it's not, and so it may not be worth a grind for me.
No, but well, and see, that's my dilemma. Is I also want to do that in Overwatch because I did pay for the battle pass.
Oh, right.
But now we got the news for Overwatch. I'm like, maybe I don't want to play. For those who don't know, it is quote unquote Pride Month.
Oh,
And,
so we're going to trigger early.
We're triggering early. Listen, at the end of the day, well, it is what it is. Listen, at the end of the day, we're committed to love one another from
Yep.
Christ.
Yep.
But but there's still very glaring things that we just have fundamental disagreements on.
Yeah,
And I believe this is one of them. And so, I'm not going to, just because we might have some listeners that get offended, and my intention is not to offend you, but it is what it is. I'm not going to cave under it.
Yeah.
So,
If it's getting hot.
yeah, it's getting hot.
Skillet up. Well, and that's what I would say. I mean,
Get the bacon ready. But so
we got Calcifer in here for all you anime fans.
Yeah. I'm probably not going to be, and I need to because I wanted that Sigma skin,
Yeah.
and I'm a good ways in. I think I need like 19 more rank ups or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I can get that in a week, but not now.
I know. Oh, that's
But
awesome.
anyways, that is all I got for.
Oh,
I've been playing some.
I mean, beyond a little bit of Tears of the Kingdom, I'm looking forward to discussing it next week. And I haven't gotten real wild with some of the builds, but I did get to an area. I finally did open up the entirety of the map, and I did get to the area. I can't remember the town's name, but I did get to the area where there's the town, and it's like a practice field for building. And so there's materials everywhere. You can work on your auto builds and stuff like that. So I want to work on, getting into that area and seeing what I can actually create. I think I saw somebody created a Sith TIE fighter flying a little ways. Of course, they had two battery cells. So I mean, it
wild.
flew for about 30 seconds and then it was going down.
Yeah. Like like Vader.
I would do it in the spinning effect, but yeah, that was
spin it.
Look, there's a really simple build where you take 2 fans and you put them side. Well, you don't glue them together, but you put them side by side, and then you put a control stick in the middle, and you glue the control stick to both fans. You can get on that and push forward, and as soon as you do, and so I've got 4 full battery cells. So the other day I'm in the underground, and of course it's pitch black. You can't see anything unless you've lit the areas, and I'm flying. Oh man, I don't know how long I flew, but I finally found a route that I could light up that area, and so I made it there. I mean, I don't know what I flew over because again, it's pitch black. You can't see anything. But that was a neat way to traverse the area without having to, go
through,
up and then jump back down, and then go back up and jump back down. And so, it was just a neat way to kind of tackle the
I think
situation.
anytime you get a mechanic like that where like you have a lot of liberty to build things, I mean, and you're going to have those individuals that are going to just excel above and beyond.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because they have that creative mindset. They have those that they have that prowess of being able to adapt and evaluate a situation and say, hey, this is what I need. I can do this, and this,
Right.
and it'll lead to this outcome.
Well, and that's like what we talked about last week. I could build a moving vehicle that I could pull behind my horse and secure the Korok on the moving vehicle, or I could just glue him to the harness on the horse and drag him down the road. I mean, sometimes you got to save time.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, like,
Whether you get
save time, lose value.
well,
more
I mean, so
value.
I tried it again in a different area. There was more rocks.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's bouncing off all these rocks. Well, the glue came undone, and so that I will caution you about. The glue can come undone if he hits enough rocks, and he went rolling one way, and the horse went the opposite way, and we did finally end up back together at one point. But I just glued him back on and drug him some more.
No, nothing like playing Legend of Zelda Tears of Red Dead.
Oh yeah,
Just
for sure.
dragging people up.
Look,
Yeah,
you glue him to the back of the horse, you drag him down the street.
So what we're getting at is caution. Just be careful. Watch your glue, because while you're dragging individuals down the road, it could come loose. So
Yeah, and
just
you don't
watch your
want
glue.
you don't want the body roll into the ditch.
Yeah, you want the. What in the Al Capone did I just hear?
You want that body to.
You're
stay
going to be
there.
swimming with the fishes.
You want to be swimming with the fish. Well, I mean, I did offer him some water when I drug him through the little puddle of water. So
That's why you stop by the ocean.
Yeah.
The fishes. Here's some water for you.
He's swimming with the fishes.
But anyways, I will. Yeah, I'm excited to get it.
Well, all right, let's get to the news this week, guys. This next segment's. We're gonna go back to the old format where we got some news. So
got some news.
this week, Nintendo. I think it was last week. Nintendo announced
Some new games.
Super Mario Advanced 1, 2, and 3 now available for Switch on the online plus expansion pack. So you can get it because you got the Game Boy. Advance
I've already
app.
looked at them. I haven't played them, but I saw them pop up, and
I did boot up Super Mario World, the first one, or the Super Mario Advance, the first one, and played a little bit of it. Hadn't messed around with it a whole lot. I know the kids were playing some of it. Got one that loves anything Mario and Kirby. So
do you have the Sega one? Or have you downloaded the Sega emulator one?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Have you? One
Because
one
I
other
remember
game that
playing
I
the
have-
old Dolphin game
like-
back on the back on the original console. Yeah. That was like the SpongeBob episode, right?
Yeah. where the cursor is supposed to be just dolphins. I'll tell you what.
Was that that was a movie? That was the movie, right? That wasn't that.
I think it was an episode.
Oh, okay.
Right, because the entirety of the episode was just people like Mr. Krabs flips out at the end, and he was like, "What? I can't believe you."
Oh no! That was the language episode. No, there's one like that's got this big king dolphin that like clicks like that, and I don't remember. It may have been one of the movies. I don't know. I know Keanu Reeves and Snoop Dogg are in one of the movies.
Okay. The weirdest. Oh my goodness.
Keanu Reeves looking like Jesus in the tumbleweed.
I can't. Oh, Keanu Christ.
Oh man.
But I have played that Sega. Buddy came over and was showing me some of the games on there. And have you played Phantasy Star?
I have not played Phantasy Star.
I actually was playing that a good bit this week.
Really?
And it's fun. Like sprites, bro. I tell you what got me.
Look,
it's like alien sprites. It's like, ooh, these are nice.
The NES one got me because I was playing, and I know I'm trying to remember what the name of the game is. If it escapes me, but in Japanese it's Mother. It's the Mother games. So there's like Mother 1, 2, and 3, and so it's where NES comes from.
Oh, Earthbound.
Yeah, Earthbound. Okay, so I guess Mother translates to Earthbound. I don't know, but in English it's Earthbound. And I'm like, I remember booting that up and I was playing it and I realized it's extremely difficult for one. Yeah. Two, it's like you get into the fight and it's turn-based RPG.
Yeah. Can't just PK fire your way out.
Oh no. So it's turn-based RPG. I've got like a baseball bat, and so my little dude, my Ness is walking around with his little baseball bat,
got his hat.
and I'm walking from my house to a town, And again, I was saving a lot because it's extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And I get into a fight, and it's the old fight. It's the old. It looks like Dragon Quest. So where like you have the deal or whatever. And one of the things is it says the hippie jumped out of the bushes or something like that. And it's just like hippie dude. And I had to beat this hippie with a bat. Oh, I wish I had the screenshot. Hold on. If y'all hear some noise, I'm getting my Switch out. I gotta show the screenshot to Sprites.
Beat it with the bat. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. I have a screenshot. Hold on.
You know what my gaming experience was when I was a kid? Back in you remember when our parents used to hit us with, back in my day I used to walk to school and back in the snow barefoot. You ever heard anybody say that before?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Back in my day, games weren't all about all these shooters and trying to push a ball in a hole.
The hippie draws near.
I'm not gonna lie. It might just be my vision, but from here it looks like kind of looked like a
little Weird Al.
Yeah, I was gonna say Bob Ross there for a second, like from a distance, because I thought all of that here was localized on the top, and we're about to trigger a lot of people if you got to whoop it up on Bob Ross with a bat.
Oh yeah, for sure. My wife being one of them.
Also, I'm fairly certain he has Ultra Instinct, so I don't think you'd be able to hit him anyway.
I love these old games and some of the stuff that they say, and then you play something new like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and you roll by this larger individual, and the first thing that pops out of his mouth is thick fat is where it's at.
Fat is where it's at. Thick fat. Sir, please don't try to justify your unhealthy eating habits.
and I'll tell you. I mean, I have dozens of screenshots from games like that.
You think it's sympathy eating because of his mom's ability?
No, he says something about like
he's like, my mom has thick fat. That's why I eat a lot too.
No, because when you talk to him,
dude, we're just blasting everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I could say this. I'm overweight. Okay.
Amen.
Yeah.
Both of us.
Well, and the chicken strips.
Oh yeah, chicken. I had chicken strips yesterday.
The gravy with the roll.
Oh, gotta have.
Amen.
The roll. Gotta have the roll. Well, so and that was the thing. So like, where were we going with this? We were going to Sprites.
Sprite City,
and then we were going to talk about a game that was
featured LeBron. Sprite City.
Oh.
Oh,
LeBron's not cool enough to get a Sprite made after him.
True.
So,
they'll be working on his hairline for years.
So I did see a game.
Receding worse than the economy.
Did
boom.
Roasted.
Oh man, this is how we can't get anything done, dude. We're like, welcome to the news. Talk about Super Mario. Hey, let's roast LeBron. How did we get here?
Well, I mean, Mario can probably jump higher than LeBron.
Yeah.
You ever seen LeBron jump 3 times and do a backflip in the air? Yeah.
You ever seen Mario? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You ever seen him combo you at 50% off the map? I have. Anyways.
Oh.
What's next?
So, where I was going with the Sprites a game that has been highly rated for its sprites, and I think I sent you the YouTube video of this. I don't know if you watched it or not, but Dragon Quest has a new game coming out called Infinity Strash. It's like trash, but with an S on the front of it.
ST.
I hope it's not trash because it looks really good.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of Dragon Quest fans will probably be disappointed because it's not turn based.
This is like an adaptation from the Netflix series, I think, right? Because the Netflix series has something that's all about Dai, and that's the main character, right? Dai.
I don't know.
I
know.
I think that's what it says, right? The Adventures of Dai. Like, go to it.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, and I think the adaptation is is what DAI, right?
Yeah, it's DAI.
Dai.
Yeah, it's set for a September release, and so
I want to say that Netflix has a show that's had a show on. I've never watched it, but
now
like
I've watched it, and I don't remember. Maybe one of the character, maybe the main character was, but I know it was really weird because, and for those that haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil anything, but the character that starts that seems like the main protag in the show is not.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, like it's 30 minutes in before you get to the main protag. It's weird. It's very strange, but it was a good show. There's that, and then there's a Monster Hunter Netflix series or show that's. It's Monster Hunter. It's not. It's probably better than what the Monster Hunter movie, which I've never seen, is.
Yeah. I don't know enough about Monster Hunter. I got a lot of friends that do, but I played a little bit of it.
I love Monster Hunter. It's fun.
It's awesome. It looks. I've seen some gameplay. It looks really fun. But
yeah, I know. I love it's all about the grind with that too. And the cool thing is I mean, you don't have to spend money. You just grind till you get your armor that you want, and you know. But no, it looks interesting. I'm excited about a action RPG that
all consoles or just PlayStation.
It was announced, I think, on PS5, PS4 for September, but it actually, I saw where it was launching on Switch also.
I was going to say, because I know Switch has some, because they had the Dragon Age builder stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of the Dragon Age, Dragon Quest. A lot of the Dragon Quest games, the older ones are
well, it's got the newest one too.
That's right. I have the newest one. What am I talking about?
Yeah, and it was amazing.
Yeah,
I ended up buying it.
I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah,
I got it like dirt cheap for some like Black Friday sale or something.
Nice.
And I sunk so many hours.
Pushing a lady out the way for it.
Oh no! I order all my stuff online.
My grandson wanted this.
Boom. I don't fight people. Look,
smoked an old woman.
No, I don't do all that. I
70% off.
No, if I don't get it 70% off online, I ain't getting it.
Announcer comes out of nowhere. You RKO this granny in the Walmart.
You know what? I'm an esports coach. You see some Smash Brothers right here in Walmart.
Here's my final smash.
Oh man, but
Free stalker.
But it was cool because right after, I don't remember if it was right after or right before that announcement for that. So Dragon Quest is celebrating its 25th anniversary, I guess, and they have, and I don't know, maybe you've played one of these Dragon Quest monsters, and I think it's like Dragon Quest, like Pokemon.
So there was a game, a Dragon Quest game. Trying to remember which one it is now. Dragon Quest 9, I think. Dragon Quest 8, one of those on PlayStation that had a monster Coliseum league, like a monster fighting league.
Oh, okay.
And what you can do is there are specific mons that are actually in the real world, because in that game you when you go out into dangerous areas, unlike the newer one where you can see them bouncing around and you can see where they're at all times, you can encounter them. You only encounter them old RPG stuff.
Yeah, like random encounters.
Yeah, random encounters, right. And so, but there's specific mons that are going to be the same mons of these wild encounters, but you can actually see them bouncing around in the overworld. And so when you walk up on them, I think you fight them, or maybe you just talk with them. I think you talk to them, and then I think you fight them. And I think if you beat them, you can get them to join your squad.
Right.
Right, and you can have a squad of 3, and it's kind of like a mini quest thing that I think you can get some pretty good stuff from if you win.
Cool.
If you win, and there's a bunch of divisions to the point where you can get champion.
Right.
And obviously as you progress with the story, then you progress. Then more mons open up for you to be able to get.
Yeah.
And I remember having a blast with it. It was really fun. You can mix and match, and there was tons of the mons that you can use, and each mon had specialized in different things. Like I think that I see King Slime right there. King Slime, I think, was like super bulky. Like he would just soak up everything.
Well, and
it was neat. So I think it's something like off of that where like you're just playing as the mons.
Well, and I saw that because when I watched the video, there's a YouTube video on I think it was Nintendo Life's website is where I found this. It is a spin-off series for Nintendo Switch, and it is part of their 25th anniversary of the Dragon Quest Monster series. So it's 25th of actual Dragon Quest monsters. So I'm assuming that when I watched this, they showed some gameplay from like the Game Boy era. Even I think it was Game Boy era. 25 years ago. So just okay. But
yeah, I think
they probably, well, if it's 25 years ago, that would have been before Pokemon?
No. Pokemon just had its 25th anniversary like a year.
Okay, so maybe they
I think Unite dropped on their 25th anniversary, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so maybe they saw Pokemon, they saw the writing on the wall, and that's when they started. Well, so that would make if Unite came out on the 25th anniversary.
I think it might have been the 20th anniversary. No, Unite hadn't been out for 5. I know it's 25th though, because I think Pokemon came out close to around the same time.
Same time. Well, I don't know, man. I'm as a RPG fan. I'll probably check this out.
Yeah, I'll probably end up. I love monster catcher games, and so I'll probably take a look at it and see if it's worth anything. And
well, what I'm excited about is that Nintendo is still getting, the Switch is still getting some love even into September. And
absolutely.
I kind of saw things starting to die off after Tears of the Kingdom, but it looks like that, if new monster, if we got if we're getting 2 Dragon Quest type games, and then we're getting some other stuff, then maybe
doing some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, maybe we're gonna see some stuff that actually happens for the Switch for in the later of the year. But man, I don't even know if I want to talk about this next topic.
Gollum.
Yeah, so it was super excited about this. Like gameplay and everything looked really good, and Lord of the Rings Gollum released on all platforms, and I just hate to see something that I love just be like drugged through the dirt.
Yeah.
Awesome. And this was supposed to be Gollum's story. This was supposed to be so a little bit of combat, a lot of sneaking, a lot of covert type stuff for Gollum.
Yeah.
And man, the developers, we see this again and again. Developers issuing an apology because the game has so many issues, and so they actually posted on social media. It was like, deeply regret that the game did not meet the expectations we set for ourselves or for our dedicated community.
Yeah.
Now that's a hit.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go on to say, accept our sincere apologies for any disappointments this may have caused. Well, I mean, the problem is I'm all for games getting delayed if it betters the quality of the game. I hate to see games especially like this. I mean, because Lord of the Rings is and the Hobbit series. Tolkien's work has taken such a hit lately. The Amazon show.
Yeah.
The Amazon show is taking. I don't even know how that thing is still. How they're still.
I haven't watched any of it.
I haven't watched it either, but I know
It's
that
one of those things where I think I think we're at a point, and we've talked about this several times in the past over the past few episodes, but I think we're at a time where you really need to consider just leaving well enough alone. Like, you don't have to bring. Look, it was a successful franchise. We know that this franchise was amazing.
Yeah.
But not every franchise has the ability that, say, Call of Duty has the ability, say, like Pokemon has, or, you name it, those that are able to continue to pump out games each and every year and people will still buy them. Not every franchise, even though they're phenomenal, not every franchise has that ability.
Well, and so
Right.
so what was the Lord of the Rings game that came out with the guy that worked with a wraith or something like that? It's a really good action style game.
Recently?
Yeah, it was like Xbox One era.
You talking about the Shadows of Mordor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was such a good game. And so like that did the series justice, but here we take a character that you watch this character and
I think it's a neat to be honest with you, hearing it, like, because I haven't really been keeping up with anything. I've seen it like just on the news.
I mean, I've been super excited about it. I mean,
but I haven't been keeping up with it, so I didn't know anything about the game. But I think it's pretty neat that you got this franchise that is trying to branch out. It's not a copy and paste generic game that it's already came out with.
Yeah.
And Lord of the Rings has had some hit or misses on that. One game that I used to love playing, I don't know if you've ever played it, was Lord of the Rings Conquest.
oh no, I never played it.
And it was, dude, no joke, it's Lord of the Rings Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like the old one on PlayStation 2. That not the new Battlefront.
Oh, okay.
It's
You're
like
talking about
it's like PlayStation 2 Battlefront.
Yeah.
Like the super awesome Battlefront, which I like the new ones too, but the old ones were just, to me, better.
Yeah, and Battlefront, it was like Battlefront 2 when it came out. Of course, it was one of those that was like horrible with microtransactions and stuff like that. But I picked it up afterwards. I actually got it, I think, free through the PlayStation Plus or something, and I've enjoyed it. I mean, I love playing Battlefront.
I think they've done a lot better. They've kind of corrected a lot of, but that's EA.
Yeah.
EA is just,
they got the money to like throw at a game and completely revamp the system.
But anyways, that Conquest game was like old Star Wars Battlefront 2, but just
cool.
Lord of the Rings version.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I'm telling you, one of the very few games that I actually played so much that I messed the game up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like it's scratched up, and by the end of it, like, we couldn't play it anymore because we just played it too much.
Right.
And so it was just fun, man. You get like 4 or 5 people, or it was. I think you can go split screen with 4 people, and man, you get 4 people on the same screen. When you just go around, that's
awesome.
you can have people on 2 different sides, and you start off like very like weak creatures, or like just normal like soldiers. You can be like an archer or fighter or whatever.
Right.
But then there's some game modes the same way on Battlefront 2.
You always picked the dwarf, didn't you?
So, now that I think about it, I don't think there was a dwarf outside of like a hero character in picking Gimli.
Right.
Which he was like the equivalent of picking Yoda on Battlefront 2.
Yeah,
I mean, he was so small and so fast that it was just like, oh man, he was just...
He's jumping around with his axe, swinging his axe like a lightsaber.
Like, dude, they had an insane... There was a couple maps that you can play nothing but hero characters. The same like Battlefront 2.
Right.
And so you could play nothing but hero characters. And one of them was the Shire, like fighting the Shire.
Yeah.
But hero characters, you can play the Balrog.
Oh, nice.
Just walk around and boo, boo.
with the fire whip.
You had the fire whip on one hand, and then you had the
big flaming
sword on the other. Oh man,
awesome!
It was great. Like, and he had like a yelling move too. Like, so they were like way away, and that was your like range move, and you were like, ah! And, like,
I wanted to see so much more of the Balrog.
It was great.
when
PlayStation 2 era Lord of the Rings was like polished, man.
Yeah.
It was so good. You got Conquest, you got the Third Age, which is the RPG one. Phenomenal.
Really?
Dude, it was so good. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was like there was so much you can do in that RPG game,
Right.
And so there's a lot of great. And so Lord of the Rings has never strayed away from like wanting to do unique games.
Right.
You know, not a copy and paste generic. You know, we did this in the past and we're successful. Let's do it again. But you know, sometimes you get stuff like this where, like, I think it's a great idea. I think it would be awesome to follow Gollum.
Well, and that was the thing, you know, like watching the gameplay, watching the cinematics, watching I mean, because I've kept up with it since they introduced it. Man, I was so excited about it, and then to see it come out, and I mean, luckily I'm limited on what I can buy because my New Year's resolution. You know, I just purchased, but the last game that I can purchase all year. And I'm like, you know,
yeah.
So I don't know. But you know, hopefully maybe they'll fix it. If they don't, it is what it is. But man, what I am most excited about is some Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever played Metal Gear Solid.
I haven't beaten any.
Okay.
I've played 2 or 3.
So PlayStation had this big you know, this big event last week, and
yeah.
So some of the stuff was like, I don't know. So Firewall is this really cool VR game that that's coming to like PlayStation VR 2, I think. They showed some stuff on Final Fantasy when it was 16, and then like their final one of their final reveals was Metal Gear Solid, and basically what it is, it's the third game. It's Snake Eater, which you know, that was the one where you had all the different camo and you could hide in the water. You could like lean up against a tree, and depending on your camo, if you matched your camo to the tree and your face paint to the tree, enemies would walk right past you, and then you could come off the tree. You know, it's like Schwarzenegger and Predator. You know,
yeah.
I mean, just coming out of the mud, you know, and taking these enemies down. I mean, man, cool. It was such an awesome game, and to the point to where, you know, if you got in the mud and if you got in the water, when you got out of the water, you'd start seeing that you were taking hit. You know, you were taking a hit on your health. Well, when you open up the menu, I remember you used to have to take your cigar. You have to light up a cigar and burn all the leeches off of you. And this was like PlayStation 2 era. So, I mean...
Man, they had some like specific things
Yeah,
there.
yeah. It was really
crazy.
specific. It was really neat. And to see it come and be a remake of PS5, the hard time I'm having with it is Kojima's not, you know, because he's doing his own thing now. He's not part of that, and he's not going to be part of the remake. I did hear that they were reusing the voice acting, I believe. So they'll probably clean some of that up. So it'll be, you know, Snake will have his you know, his OG voice, and they're not going to replace the actor or anything. So with that, we've got some, you know, we got some stuff.
Well, hopefully they do a good job.
And then they finished the event with Spider-Man 2. And I'm telling you, man, that is going to be amazing.
Oh, man, it looks so good.
And so
now, I mean, it doesn't make me want to buy a PlayStation 5, but I mean, it's
look,
you know.
If you don't buy a PlayStation 5 for Final Fantasy 16, that like that's the game that if I didn't already own one, that is the game
that you would get it for.
Yes, I mean, I bought a Nintendo Switch mainly for Breath of the Wild, but then you know, the Switch has been so popular, and there's been all these new games, and I've found all these new franchises I love. Yeah. But I remember originally it was a Final Fantasy game that got me to buy the PS2.
Yeah.
And you know, luckily the 360 had the Final Fantasies in between, but I'm back to, you know, I've fallen back to PlayStation. I got away from Xbox, and dude, Final Fantasy 16 is gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah. And it's a little bittersweet because Tears of the Kingdom was my last game of the year, so I probably will wait until at least Christmas or after to get 16 and get a little bit of free.
When is it supposed to be coming out?
I don't remember the release date. I think it's coming out pretty close. Let me look that up real quick. It's pretty close. Oh, it is June 22nd.
Wow. Okay.
So this month?
Yeah.
That's the only thing good coming out of this month.
True. True.
And guys, the last thing that is in our news is so during the event they talked about some new earbuds that are gonna mirror the same technology that they have in their headphones now. Their bigger can headphones for PlayStation 5 with the it's like 7.1. It's almost like Dolby Atmos built into the headphones, so you get that surround all the way around you. And then they announced a PlayStation remote piece of hardware for PlayStation 5. So essentially what it is it's a huge PlayStation 5 controller with a screen built in the middle. So it's got the Switch aesthetic, you know.
Yeah.
What I think the limitations are is, one, it's got like a 4-hour battery life, which that's not bad. I mean, it's...
Yeah, if it's solely dedicated for handheld mode. Right?
Well, yeah. And I'm sure the controller is going to have all the haptic feedback and everything that the PS5 controller... Yep. And so, in all honesty, it probably has a longer battery life than a PS5 controller. Because my PS5 controllers die within 2.5 hours of each, if I'm playing something constant. So I have two. I always have one on charge while I'm playing, and then I'll swap out. The other night when we were playing Overwatch, I thought my controller was going to die in the middle of the match because wasn't quite ready to get up and swap that out yet because we were in the middle of the match. But it's pretty neat. It's got a nice OLED screen, and the other limitation is they say that you do have to be, you know, on the same network that your PS5's on. So you have to be at home. You have to be, you know, I mean, they're big limitations. So by no means is this a Switch successor for PlayStation.
Yeah, that is a big limitation.
So, but
they're
you know, if they have this for PS5 now, what is their next?
The possibility.
I mean, I think they're
kind of going in the right direction here with this.
Well, and with this being, you know, I don't remember if they announced a cost or anything, but with this having these limitations, there's no storage, there's no. I mean, I'm sure the motherboard's fairly limited on what. You know, I mean, it basically is just looking for a PS5.
Essentially, it's almost like just an accessory to your PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a way to play it in portable mode. If you know, which I like because, and you know, as long as
that's a good compromise to what they have going on instead of like releasing, say, like another PSP or something.
Right.
You know, we understand that the PSP was all right, but it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, and if they keep this around $150, maybe $200, I might swing it. If it's over $200, I don't see it being worth it. I mean, I know they have a controller that is $200.
Yeah.
With all the
got the holder and everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a nice controller, but is it $200? No, I wouldn't pay. No.
Oh, you're almost buying a Switch with that.
Yeah. I mean, I just buy an OLED. But guys, after that, I have one little small triggering section that so and this is really not gaming news. It does kind of have to do with a company that has done some gaming in the past. But I kind of want to get Sprites' perspective on this video that I sent him about Disneyland.
I don't have a comment on it.
He is silent.
Yeah.
I
dude.
Oh man.
It's just what.
So the state of the world. I just don't understand it sometimes. And I'm
It's so It's so beyond. Do you want to tell everybody what exactly was going on there?
Well, yeah. I mean, there was a mustache individual in a dress welcoming all of the kids into the area of Disneyland where little girls go to purchase their princess dresses, and then they get all dolled up at Disneyland, and so to relive a Disney princess. I just look. I've got boys.
Nothing like getting your daughter all dolled up from Gaston. You know.
Look, and guys, this is going to get a little more political than what we usually like to do, but I think as individuals and as parents and especially, we try to keep our kids as innocent as we can, and
I think, because so here's the thing. Y'all know what we're about. We are. I mean, if you want to say that we're religious people, at the end of the day, we have a relationship with Christ. That's what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
Right? And, there are clearly specific tenets that Christ has told us, right? And commandments, things of that nature that we abide by. Every single one of them. And let me just say this. As a believer, as a Christian, you don't have the luxury or you don't have the opportunity of getting to pick and choose what you follow, right? At the end of the day, it is what it is, right? You follow the tenets of Christ.
Yes.
That's what it comes down to.
Yep.
Now, in saying all this, we understand that, the Bible is very clear about this, right? When it comes to homosexuality.
Yep.
Right. That's now, obviously there's a little bit more of a gray area when it comes to something like gender dysphoria, because it's not something that they faced there in scriptural time.
Right.
But we understand that there are still the Bible talks about, the dress of a man, the hair of a man, things like that.
Yep.
Those are things that are very clear as well in Scripture. And so, looking at this, there's also one primary principle that shines through all of these things. And that is this number one thing that you ought to have and I ought to have in our life, and that's truth.
Yeah.
Right? Truth, it needs to be, and I know this. I know a lot of people think that some of the greatest things that you ought to follow God for is for love and things of that nature, and those are all fantastic things. But let me tell you one thing that God is above all in, even more than just love, is He's truth.
Yeah.
Right, and so in order for us to worship and serve Him, rightfully, He tells us that God is a spirit. Those that worship Him in spirit and in truth.
And in truth,
right? And so we as followers ought to follow Him in truth. Truth needs to be priority number one in our life.
Amen.
What does it mean? And so for us to look at something like gender dysphoria, or something like people transitioning, right, or whatever they a transgender individual.
That was what was interesting for this whole article that came, or this video that came out. There's no denying what.
Yeah. Is not, and if you want to go to Ben, or you want to go to Claben, or you want to go to any of those guys that really talk about this so often,
right?
But where he says facts don't care about your feelings, and as backhanded of a statement as he said it at times,
yeah,
those are very truthful words.
Yeah,
it does not matter how we feel about it. Right? At the end of the day, these are the facts. Right? If you're born this specific way, that's what you are. Right? Biologically.
Yeah.
Right? And so these decisions that you make ultimately are just that. It's not something that you are making this decision to identify this way. That does not mean
it's truth.
That it's truth. Absolutely.
Right.
And then that's when people are like, well, but this is my truth. I was like, well, that doesn't make sense because truth is not subjective.
Yeah, right.
Truth is objective.
It's not your truth. It's God's truth.
Yeah, there is a singular truth, and this is what this truth says.
Right.
This truth says that you were born a male, right? You are now. If you want to put on dresses, that's fine. You know, a little strange, but hey, have a field day. But you're not gonna sit there and tell me that you are a woman.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And listen, you want to talk about triggering more than anything else? It's a moments like this where we're buying into this idea that truth can be bent.
Yeah. Right.
Or manipulated, or truth is in the eye of the beholder. That's a bunch of hogwash, dude.
Yeah.
I'm about to get to preaching here in a second. Y'all have heard me roast individuals, but let me tell you, like this, that's it's ridiculous. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right. From a logistical standpoint, you don't even have to be a religious person, but you listen. We can all agree that truth is something. I mean, even the scientist. Right, the guy that denies the existence of God will sit there and say, biologically speaking, you're not right.
Yeah, right.
So now you're wrong in two different lines of thought.
Yep.
Now you're double wrong, which makes you dumb.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a double negative.
Now, and let me tell you, this double negative ain't making no positive here, because I'm positively sure you're a man. Okay, let me tell you. But anyways, that's my rant
with your mustache and your dress.
Yeah. Boy, don't
Oh man!
Don't make me go over there and start ripping out hair like they did to Jesus. All right,
look, and I've seen so many articles about all these companies like.
They just keep taking a hit.
Yes.
Get this. I actually had a conversation with a good buddy of ours. We've talked about him several times on the podcast. He'll join us one day.
Yeah.
For sure. Me and my good buddy, we were talking. And he was like, look, I ended up listening to this video that they kind of expounded upon why some of these are doing it, making these decisions to just completely tank. Right? Because the proof's in the pudding. Every time that somebody, as a corporation, proceeds to follow wokeness, they get shot down.
New Little Mermaid.
And
yeah, I mean, I don't know how Disney has any money left. I mean, and here
I can't even say what I want to say because it's so bad.
Here's okay. So I love Disney.
Family friendly.
I loved Disney. You know, I mean, I wanted my kids to grow up like. I mean, that's all that we watched in our house when we were little. It was Disney, and I'm telling you, man, the best thing I could see would be for Disney to sell Marvel, to sell Star Wars, to sell Lucasfilm. You know, and try to recoup some of their woke lost money back, and sell that to, I mean, to sell it to anybody that would do it justice.
Yeah,
and it'd be great.
Absolutely.
I mean, that would be, you know, so for those Star Wars fans out there is hope. There is a new hope.
Yeah, there
is a new hope.
It's not in wokeness.
Non-wokeness, and Disney sells out. If they sell out and have to sell it, it goes to somebody else. I mean, it's already hit rock bottom. So it's got nowhere else to go but up.
Well, and to finish that, a lot from what I've gathered, and I'm sure that this is the case. I've heard a lot of these corporations, the reason that they're doing this, right? Because it is so hard for me to imagine that corporations that are this established are this arrogant or this ignorant.
Yeah.
To me, that is it's too hard of a line of thought for me to follow.
Right. It doesn't make good business sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For y'all to be this successful, there's no way that you guys make this big of a blunder.
Right.
There has to be something else going on.
Right.
And so, in saying that, I believe a lot of these corporations. You know, it's just investors and people of that nature. People of that nature that are like, hey, you do this or we're pulling money.
Yeah, right.
And that's what, you know, my buddy and I were talking about. And he was telling me that they're you know, of this video that kind of expounds upon this line of thought.
Right.
Is, you know, these investors that are willing to pull money. But the reality is, how many investors are investing $10 billion in a corporation?
Right. I mean,
in a week, Target lost $10 billion.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, if you look at Disney, I mean, how many movies are they going to put out? You can't tell me that there's enough investors covering all the money that's being tanked that they're not making.
And there's another thing that's being tarnished
Unless
while
it's
their
the
money
government.
is being stepped on. Yeah,
Plus, it's the government funding Disney's wokeness.
potentially. So then it's just us paying for it.
It's the Biden and Obama administration.
Yeah, old Joe.
Old Sleepy Joe.
Yeah. Old Sleepy Joe.
Oh, man.
That would be a good idea. Supporting Disney. You take a big old sniff.
That's the intro moment.
Let me support Disney. Smells like wokeness. Oh man!
Oh,
but
well. And
guys,
on that note, we
need to go. But guys, it's been. First of all, I think it's been a great episode, just full of. There's spicy takes in this episode.
Yeah.
Not as much, just roasting RP LeBron's hairline, but other than that, I mean, it's.
Look, guys, we like to have fun, and at the end of the day, if we come in here, we record this, we have fun.
Yeah.
I hope y'all enjoy listening to it. Again, follow us on Twitter, Dragons W Gaming.
Absolutely,
and
share it. I think we're from what we've gathered, we've got a few more listeners just from even outside the state, the country. So
yeah, I mean,
guys, we are. And first off, if you're one of the few that is outside the country listening faithfully, thank y'all so much.
Absolutely,
we really appreciate everything that you guys do. And you might think, well, all I'm doing is listening. Well, that's all we expect.
Absolutely,
I think it's just. Great to have anybody willing to listen to us, to be honest with you. I say that sincerely, but also, and hey, if you got a laugh out of this, if you agree with this, if you disagree with this, that's fine. At the end of the day, guys, you form your own thoughts. But
leave us a comment, guys. We're always up for, we're always up for.
And I'm willing to say this. I know sometimes I've been told this at least, and
we just picked up listeners from Mexico.
Oh, let's go!
Yeah,
don't do it, Isaac. Don't do it.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Stop.
Thank you.
Okay. We're not gonna get anybody, dude.
No, y'all please come back and listen.
For real.
Sprites has got I've got. Yeah, there's no like reeling him in.
I really think I have Asperger's. I honestly think I do. I got this like half a second like filter that it's like bad idea. I'm like, send it. Every time, bro, it's like, dude, you should not say that. I'm like, send it. We
need to install a new web filter.
Yeah, we need to. You need to have a soundboard for any time that I get ready to say something atrocious. Where you just click it and hold it just until I'm done. You're like, well, that's all for that segment. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
We're thankful for anybody and everybody that's here. All the listeners. You guys, really make this possible for us to be able to do this,
and for sure, give us a shout out on Twitter, and hopefully, if we grow this a little bit more, we can get this Discord up and running, and get y'all in there, and y'all can join the conversations, and really just get to know us on a personal level. And
absolutely, I promise, I'm not a scummy person.
He's a pretty good person. I'll
try
vouch
not
for
to
him.
be. I do save some spicy things, but. Anyways, thank you guys so much, but on a more serious note, as we get ready to close, once again, guys, nothing. I can't be more serious about what I said earlier, and I know that perspective might make you feel uncomfortable or It might be something that you fundamentally disagree with, but let me assure you of this: truth is always going to be evident. It's always going to be something that is, it's not going to need anybody to speak for it. It's going to be able to stand up and hold its own weight.
Absolutely.
It's going to hold water. And so, and guys, y'all pursue after it. Truth needs to be something that you desire in your own life, whether it's with relationships that you have around you, whether it is with your personal relationship with God. And let me make this a point in the message as well. Regardless of how you feel about it, you might be, you might be unbelieving. You might you might have rejected the notion or the thought. But let me assure you of this one thing: regardless of how you feel, that does not alter the fact that God is real.
Amen.
God is, God exists, and that's true.
Amen.
You might say, for me to prove it, and I'll tell you, the very ground in which we stand is proof enough. Okay, I know that sounds like a straw man.
You breathe.
It's evident all around us. Intelligent creation has an intelligent creator.
Yep.
Okay, there's an origin story behind all of it, and you can't tell me it comes from a speck called the guard particle, which is ironic because
I always just tell the kids, God said bang, and there it was.
Yeah, boom. But it's just one of those things where you dig a little deeper and you think about it a little bit more, and eventually you'll come to the conclusion, going back far enough, that something somewhere had to be created. Whether you disagree with that or not, everything had an origin story, and how did it get here?
Yep. God throwing specks like Emerald Lagasse. Bam.
There has to be something bigger than ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so, thank y'all. I hope that you strive after truth as much as you possibly can, as well as enjoying some gaming.
Yeah,
because that's what we're here to do as well. But, anyways, let's get ready to head on out. So we thank you guys. Let's take this opportunity to pray for y'all. Father God, thank you so much for today. We thank you for this time that we had to gather and have this podcast, Lord, and to be able to have this platform, to be able to, share a portion of your word, to be able to lift up the name of Christ, to be able to, encourage and maybe even make others laugh. God, and we pray that we always strive after truth. We pray that everything we say and do can give you honor and glory. And God, we pray that we make a lasting impact on people that are listening. And God, we want to be used by you this week. Give us opportunities to share your glorious gospel, or to perform some act of service for you. And God, we just ask that if there's anybody going through some hardships right now or tough times, Lord, that you just be with them, give them comfort and peace, a guidance in their life, if you will. And God, we love you and we thank you, most of all in Jesus' name. And amen.
Amen.
Thank you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right. See you later. Peace out.